Have you ever imagined what it would be like to step inside the private world of the King of Hollywood?
Wow, that's beautiful. It's pretty much as soon as you walk in.
Today, we're stepping inside the world of Clark Gable's homes, from his grand Californian estate to his peaceful home in Encino that held his greatest joys, deepest sorrows, and the quiet life he craved beyond the spotlight. How much do these cost, and what luxuries as well as secrets did they hold that the world didn't know about? Let's find out. But before we explore his incredible estates, let's take a look and understand who Clark Gable really was. It's the early 1930s and Hollywood is booming. Talkies have taken over and movie stars are becoming larger than life. Among them is a tall, handsome actor with a distinctive mustache and a charismatic grin. Yes, Clark Gable. He isn't just any actor, he is the actor. Yet despite his fame, Gable never quite fit the traditional Hollywood mold. He wasn't the type to spend all his time at glitzy parties or fancy clubs. Instead, he longed for something more private, more personal, a place where he could be himself. And that's exactly what he found in his beloved estate in Encino, California. Now, think about this. If you were the biggest star in Hollywood but craved a simple, peaceful life, where would you choose to live? Gable's answer was a massive 20-acre estate in Encino, a quiet town of Los Angeles.
As Mr. and Mrs. Clark Gable, and even a girl like this thinks he's wonderful. This news means a good many broken hearts all over the world. But stick to the man you've got, girls, even if he has got flat feet.
In the late 1930s, Gable purchased the Encino estate with his third wife, Carole Lombard, a woman who was just as much a Hollywood legend as he was. They weren't interested in a flashy Beverly Hills mansion. Instead, they wanted a real home, a place that felt comfortable, warm, and secluded from the chaos of Hollywood. The ranch-style estate was exactly what they wanted. Imagine sprawling green pastures, a long dirt driveway leading up to a grand yet unpretentious house, and wide-open spaces where the couple could enjoy horseback riding, gardening, and quiet evenings away from the cameras. But what made this house so special? The couple personally designed many aspects of the home. The exterior had a charming rustic appeal, while the interiors reflected a blend of elegance and comfort. High wooden beams, stone fireplaces, and cozy leather furniture filled the living spaces. Gable's favorite spot, the massive den, where he would often sit with a drink in hand, reading scripts or entertaining a few close friends. This wasn't a place for wild parties or endless Hollywood guests. Only a selected few were ever invited into his private world. And here's something truly touching. Lombard had a special rose garden planted just for Gable. Even after her tragic death in a plane crash in 1942, he kept it exactly as she left it. But here's the heartbreaking part. After Lombard's sudden death, the ranch became a place of solitude for Gable. He hardly ever had guests anymore, choosing instead to spend quiet nights alone or taking care of his horses in the stables. The place that was once filled with laughter and love became a retreat from his sorrow. Yet despite his grief, Gable never left the ranch. It remained his true home for decades. His place filled with memories, solitude, and the life he built away from Hollywood. Clark Gable and Carole Lombard purchased their 20-acre Encino estate in the late 1930s for approximately $50,000. Adjusted for inflation, that would be around $1 million to $1.2 million today. But what happens to a legend's home after they're gone? Does it stay frozen in time, or does it take on a new story of its own? After Gable's passing in 1960, the Encino Ranch changed hands several times before sadly being demolished in the 1970s. Today, luxury homes sit where his peaceful retreat once stood. But Gable wasn't a man to have just one legendary home. His love for the outdoors and privacy led him to another incredible property, a one that still stands today. If Encino was his peaceful retreat, then his Palm Springs home was his playground. During Hollywood's golden age, Palm Springs was the ultimate getaway for movie stars. It was far enough from Los Angeles to escape the paparazzi, but still close enough to return for work when needed. Gable was no exception. His stunning Spanish-style estate in Palm Springs became his second great love, with towering palm trees, a large swimming pool, and breathtaking desert views. This was where Gable could enjoy warm sunny days, long hikes, and the simple pleasure of being away from the Hollywood grind. What made this estate unique? Unlike his rustic ranch, this home had a more classic Hollywood feel. The white stucco walls, red tile roof, and arched doorways reflected a luxurious old-world charm. The outdoor spaces were just as impressive, featuring a private courtyard, lush gardens, and an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Inside, the home was decorated with fine leather furniture, antique chandeliers, and a classic 1930s bar where Gable would often mix drinks for his friends. He purchased this desert paradise for a modest $20,000 to $30,000 in the 1930s, a price that, adjusted for inflation, would be roughly $400,000 to $600,000 today. But in modern Palm Springs markets, where luxury estates command multi-million-dollar price tags, the value of such a retreat would now be immeasurable. But here's the real surprise: Gable never actually owned this house. It was rented by MGM, his movie studio, as a retreat for him between filming. Studios often did this for their biggest stars, ensuring they had a luxurious escape while remaining under contract. So, while this wasn't his permanent home, it still holds a major place in his history. But where would Gable go when he truly wanted to disappear from the world? Few people know that Gable also owned an estate in Texas, far from Hollywood's flashing lights, which was also his comfort space. Unlike his California homes, this place was truly off the grid. No big entrances, no grand designs, just miles of open land, blue skies, and complete solitude. This ranch allowed him to embrace his love of the outdoors. He would go hunting, fishing, and horseback riding, completely removed from Hollywood pressures. And here's something fascinating. Locals say he would often visit town without anyone recognizing him. He loved that he could just be a regular guy in Texas, something that was impossible for him in California. He purchased the property for a modest $10,000 to $15,000, a sum that in the 1940s could buy vast stretches of Texas land. Adjusted for today's values, that would be approximately $200,000 to $300,000. But in today's booming Texas real estate market, a ranch of this size and history could easily be worth millions. Yet for Gable, its true worth wasn't in dollars, but in the freedom it gave him, an escape not just from Hollywood, but into a world where he could simply be himself. Each of Clark Gable's homes showed a different side of him. His Encino ranch held love and loss. Palm Springs was his lively retreat, and his Texas ranch was where he truly escaped. More than just homes, they were pieces of his story, revealing a man who, despite fame, wanted a quiet, private life. And that's a wrap, guys. We hope you enjoyed this journey through Clark Gable's world. Let us know in the comments which home fascinated you the most. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more amazing content. Also, check out our previous video. You won't want to miss it. See you in the next one.